everybody. Welcome back to Fun Facts with Faith. My mom is not gonna love this one, but I had a request to continue with the cat genetics series. And there are some sort of interesting quirks that come up in the more complicated aspects of that. So I'm going to do a little bit of a sub-series on the cat coat genetics. If you haven't watched the previous video about orange coloring and tortoiseshell cats, that's linked above, and you can watch that for a little refresher. Today we're going to cover something relatively simple, which is just the basic eumelanin producing genes, so that we have a little bit of a foundation to understand the rest of it when we get there. And if cat genetics are really not your thing, you can feel free to skip these as they come up. I will have other more digestible fun facts other days. Okay, so last time we were talking about the orange gene, which is an X-linked gene in cats. So it's on the sex chromosome, the X. Most of the rest of these genes are autosomal. Sorry. Wow. I'm tired. Most of the rest of these genes are autosomal, which means they are on just sort of autosomal chromosomes, other non-sex chromosomes. And that still means that you still have two of each one of those autosomal chromosomes, and you get one from mom and one from dad, so you have the potential for two alleles or two versions of each gene, one from mom, one from dad. So when we're talking about eumelanin genes, these are our options. Well, start with the top row. So eumelanin genes, we have big B, black, we have little b, which is chocolate, and we have little b1, which is cinnamon. So big B is the dominant gene, which means it sort of overrides the other ones. So if you have even one of these, you're gonna end up black. Chocolate is like a brown color. It's also called chestnut in some breeds. And that one is recessive to big B, but dominant to B1. Okay, so this is B1, this is cinnamon, which is like a lighter brown color. And then the other genes we're going to talk about today are these dilution genes. So big D is the version for dense pigment, which you'll be the normal color. And little d is the allele for dilution. So if you have two of these, you have what's called maltase dilution, and you turn a lighter color. Okay, so let's look at some combinations. So if you had a cat, how am I gonna do this? Okay, if you had a cat that had a big B and a big B, it would be a black cat. Big B and a little b and a little b1. Any of those combinations are gonna give you black because big B is dominant and that makes it black. If you have a black cat, so any of these combinations in the B area, and then in the D area it has little d, then it dilutes and you get blue. Now you have to have two little d's for the dilution to happen. If you had like one big D and one little d, it wouldn't dilute. If you had two big D's, it wouldn't dilute because the little d, the dilution phenotype appearance is recessive. So you only get it if you have two of the little d's. These are the combinations that will give you chocolate, so little b, or little b and little b1. Either of those combinations will give you chocolate color, and if you have dilution, maltase dilution, you get lilac. And like, when you're talking about blue and lilac, when it comes to cats, it's not really, I mean, the cat does not look blue, it's like a gray color. So this is sort of like a grayish or like a slate gray, and this is a lighter gray. And then this is really pretty, this is like a light brown. So this is the only combination, little b1, that will give you cinnamon. And if you have cinnamon and dilution, you get fawn. Okay? So that's our basic combinations of alleles. And the reason that this happens is because these genes are in the area that codes for various enzymes and receptors that are involved in eumelanin production. Remember, eumelanin being the dark pigment that colors hair, or fur in this case. Okay, I'm gonna put up a pathway. Please do not panic. If you are not a science person, you can ignore almost all of the words on this diagram. If you are a science person, especially if you are a medical person, this should look somewhat familiar to you. So this is the melanin synthesis pathway. This is kind of based off of humans. I'm assuming it's similar-ish in cats. I don't know, we're kind of hand-waving this, whatever. So we start with tyrosine, which is an amino acid, and it goes through all these transformations and it makes other things. And then you get to this point where you can kind of go one of two ways. You can go down the pathway that ends up with pheomelanin, or you can go down the pathway that ends up with eumelanin, and there's a couple things that control this. And one of these is this receptor, melanocortin receptor 1. And the reason I bring this up is because Norwegian forest cats, well, there is another mutation that cats can have where in this receptor where they are born dark colored and then they sort of lighten up as they age, and it has to do with sort of switching to pheomelanin. So a black cat sort of becomes amber. And that mutation was first demonstrated in Norwegian forest cats. Anyway, that's an aside. So pheomelanin or eumelanin. Well, we care about eumelanin right now. So this protein here, tyrosine-related protein 1, controls this last, or facilitates this last step in this process to make one of the eumelanins, and that is the gene that we're talking about when we're talking about like big B, little b1. It's versions of the gene that codes for that protein. So that is why the different versions produce different colors. Okay, so in summary, solid color cats, black, brown, light brown. And then in addition to that, you can have dilution or no dilution. And if you have dilution, you get blue, lilac, and fawn. Okay? So you either have one of those colors, or if you have orange, you go the orange route. That is the foundation upon which we are going to build the rest. So next time that I talk about cat genetics, which will be next week sometime, we will be talking about I think probably white coloring, white spots. We'll see. Okay? I hope that was somewhat clear. Not totally unclear. And yeah, I'll have a different kind of fun fact for you tomorrow. Bye.